Good evening from Swansea, wrestling fans. I'm your host, Ben Allison, and you are watching Wrestling Republic's daily broadcast, your one-stop shop for professional wrestling news, insight, and reviews, everything basically in the world of professional wrestling. We are live today on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, X, all of the platforms, and of course, over on Spotify on demand as well. And we've got a fun show planned for you guys. We are going to be answering your questions that you have submitted via our Instagram stories for Mailbag Monday and discussing if the New Day will be breaking up tonight. This is going to be a big one. It's going to be a fun show. And also, it's a two-man show. And I've not done a two-man show in quite some time. But the person joining me today is Clark Taylor. How are you, Clark?
What's going on, Ben? I'm fired up to be here. We've done a few two-man shows in the last few weeks, and I did just realize you weren't on any of them, which is actually kind of hilarious because the way this show started, it pretty much was mostly two-man.
It was.
With us, too, when it came to two mics, right? Whatever you'd like to call it. The opposite of Nas there. One more than one mic. But yeah, man, I'm fired up to be here. Happy Monday. It's the holiday season.
Yep.
Fresh off Thanksgiving. It doesn't get much better than this. We had Survivor Series War Games, and sounds like we got mail.
We do indeed have mail, and you are right. It's December 2nd now. You can now start putting up your Christmas decorations. Mine are going up tomorrow. It's the season to be jolly, as they say.
Dude,
but
it was so cool. I played golf yesterday, and all of the houses on the first had put up their lights along the last few holes were in this little canyon, and all of the houses had put their Christmas lights up along their back fences. And the sun was going down and all the lights were on. And I was like, this is one of the coolest. I'm like, oh, you like, if this doesn't put you in the Christmas spirit or the holiday spirit, I don't know what does.
Oh, absolutely no. Just going around the houses and everything, just passing them when the lights are up. It is unbelievable. It gets you in the Christmas spirit. But something else that gets you in the Christmas spirit is Christmas music. And a lot of people have started playing that now. A lot of people are already sick of it. But I don't want to ask you, Clark, about Christmas music. I want to ask you about wrestling music. Because before we get into the mail, I have an additional question first. And that additional question is right now, right just off the top of your head, if you had to name your favorite wrestling theme that's currently active, what are you going to choose? Because I was thinking about this today.
Oh, is it based on just the song or what it does for the
song?
Okay.
Either, I guess.
Well, I mean, honestly, I love Big Pressure Swerve song. It gets me fired up. Like it's one of those, like, you know, if you're playing American football or sports, you could see yourself running through the tunnel too, right? Like, it's that kind of a song. So I have to shout out Swerve on that one. And I think it's very cool that it's his song for him, kind of.
Yeah. No, it's true. Yeah.
About that, but it's actually. It's not a theme I would necessarily like play if I'm just listening to music in the car and whatnot, but it really right this second doesn't get any better than Roman Reigns' entrance. Like,
okay.
It's like a mafia scary. To me, that's like I call it movie music.
Yeah.
Like, it fits really well in a movie scene, and it just feels like that every time he enters. Also, honorable mention to Cult of Personality. I actually don't love the new mix as much as the original, but I mean, how can you not mention Cult just because it's a great song, and Living Colour is just an awesome band.
Absolutely. Some great names there. Yeah, Roman Reigns one's up there for me, but I've got to be honest right now, and I've been listening to it over and over again the last few days, which is why I brought this up, is Shelton Benjamin's new AEW theme, really Shining Forever. Unbelievable.
Very good song. Yeah, it fits him in this iteration of Shelton too at this stage of his career perfectly. I don't know if it's one when we saw Shelton debut, if the song would have made sense back then. Obviously, it would have been probably too modern for 2002.
Yeah,
but like,
no, it's about him being a veteran, and I love it. I really do. I mean, all of the Hurt Syndicate themes have been bangers, but that one's just levels above for me right now. We have DCX Warlord saying "Sound the Alarm" by the Rascals. That is a hell of a pick as well. But now let's get into the mail, shall we? Because we have a question out of the gate from Jose99, who is asking, how would you book the breakup of Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill? And this question, well, it is fascinating. How I would personally do it It's actually by having Jade Cargill come back and turn heel on Bianca Belair. Just her come back, turn heel on Bianca Belair, blaming Bianca Belair for taking her out. And for the following months, Bianca Belair would be adamant, absolutely adamant, saying, hey, Jade, I didn't take you out, I promise. But Jade Cargill will be like, I've seen it over and over again before. I know you did it. These fans are trying to defend you. Blah, 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 blah. We have a heel Jade Cargill, a babyface Bianca Belair. Bianca Belair saying she's innocent. Jade Cargill saying she's guilty. It goes on for a few months. They feud all the way to WrestleMania. They do the big blow-off match at WrestleMania. Then the draft happens, and they get drafted to two separate brands. At this point, it gets unveiled or revealed that there's some like hidden footage or something, and Bianca Belair actually wasn't the one who took Jade out. It was somebody else, and that somebody else, for example, Naomi, is on the same roster as Bianca Belair is on after the draft. So then, bang, Bianca Belair can then feud with them as a feud with, for example, Naomi as a heel. And there we are, sorted. You get two feuds out of it, not just one. So I would love to see it happen like that, but that is a little bit complicated. So Clark, I'm really fascinated to hear your thoughts on that one.
I think the move is very similar to what you think the move is, but I have it a little bit more, not specific, equally specific, honestly. I think the play is when Jade comes back, it's revealed. Not yet. She suspects Bianca. There's no full turn yet. There's none of that. Then the footage comes out, and it's Bayley. And not only is it Bayley, but Bayley and Bianca got along pretty well in the match. She was using Bianca's braid during the War Games match. They've been a little bit more friendly since Bayley helped her out on Raw. And it was Bayley. And Bianca seems to have Jade's back, and you get Jade versus Bayley maybe in a match. Maybe, let's call it maybe a number one contenders match. Who knows? Could be something like that, whatever, right? Maybe even in this, there's a lot of different ways you can go. Then what we really find out is it was Bianca who paid Bayley to do it. And that's how we get to Bianca as the heel. Bianca is the heel. She was the mastermind the whole time. She got Bayley to do it so she wouldn't get caught. That evidence comes out later. And we go the opposite of what you said. Bianca and Jade, at whether it be Mania or later down the line, maybe a SummerSlam, depending on how long this initial return stuff works out. And just like you said, it's two storylines. And I do want to be clear, I really only came up with that one as a plan B because pretty much what you said was my plan A.
Fair enough. I mean, yeah, to be honest with you, I agree with you on that one too. I'd be completely fine with that. I just kind of hope it's not as simple as, well, they come back and the security footage shows it as Bianca Belair and that's that. Because we've just seen that story so many times in wrestling. Can we see something a little bit fresh?
Well, that was kind of the twist with, they show it's Bayley, and then there's a second one where
exactly.
you show Bianca tell Bayley to do it or pay Bayley to do it or whatever have you. They'll never believe it. We don't get along.
Yeah.
Right? Oh, and that's why Bayley went and helped Bianca. That makes right. It kind of that. I will say, did you see Sean Ellis's comment? Because he said this the other day, and I actually don't know this either as a third option.
What if Jade Cargill faked it to turn on Bianca Belair, turn heel? So I was thinking about this earlier on, to be honest, Sean Ellis. That was actually what I was going to say originally. The reason why I wasn't sure about it is, like, she'd have had to have, like, jumped off something, like, and properly bumped on a car. Like, you can fake the blood on your face, but the smashed car, the way that it smashed around her body, I don't think you could fake. But if it wasn't for that...
Hang on. If you have footage of... What if they did the footage this way, and you have Jade damaging the car to lay on it? That would actually... I mean, but the problem is I don't think you could take it seriously enough. But that's the only way you can fill that gap, is if the footage comes out, she's got, like, a sledgehammer putting the dents in the car before she goes to lay on it. That would be hilarious.
It would be hilarious. I just worry it would make Jade look bad, not a good heel. I think it would make her look like the heel she shouldn't be, like a cowardly heel. And I don't want that heel Cargill. I want a heel Cargill, but I want her to be that one from AEW where she's still fierce, she's still tough, she'll still beat you up, but she just believes she's better than you, and she's just, you know, not the nicest person.
Right. I mean, by the way, Ellis has another comment here. This is exactly what I was thinking. I mean, ding dong, hello, it was me. That lands perfectly, right? When they show the footage of
Yeah.
Bailey. Ding dong, hello, it was me.
Yeah, that would be that would be funny. I mean, yeah, perhaps that's the way they could do it then. I mean, Bailey, to be fair, I don't know. It could be Bailey, but I also wouldn't mind it being Naomi either. I think either makes a lot of sense. Of course, we know Naomi was one of the big three, and very quickly it went from the big three to the big two. Does Naomi feel left out? And I think that's something which is just the story writes itself there. But at the same time, Bailey's doing nothing. And again, we know what happened with Bianca Belair. It was a little bit strange last Monday on Raw before War Games. So it could happen. Chris Leclerc saying it's face, Bailey's face, it won't be Bailey. Whoever it is, Chris, I absolutely guarantee you it's a face. It's a face who's done this. It's just which face.
Vehicle to turn.
Yeah, 100%. But again, you could use that as the argument why it's not Bailey, because Bailey only did turn face like 6 months ago. But it was never a clear face turn. And I was saying this at the time. It was never a clear face turn. She was no longer quite as much of a heel, but Io Sky was just the bigger heel, and Bailey still was kind of acting like that.
Yeah, this is where the moment of, and especially if you get Jade convincing Bianca that it was her, you see just, they argue, it's not working, all of that. And Bailey with the ding dong hello, it was me the whole time, you idiots.
Ding dong hello.
Like, just ding dong hello, it was me.
Oh, oh my gosh, that would just be insane. Sean Ellis is saying Bailey is a manipulative person. Of course, that is her character. We've seen that for years. Literally, either her or Naomi, both of them, you can make perfect cases for them. DCX Warlord said it could have been a TNA wrestler. I don't know about. I mean, as much as I love the crossover, I don't think in this big of an angle it should necessarily be someone from another show. But hey, maybe that's me stuck in the old way of thinking with wrestling, not in this new era. Chris is saying that he likes Bailey more as a heel than a face. Well, perhaps this is the way to get her heel again.
I would agree with that, actually, honestly. I like both. I think the hugger Bailey is never something that we can really do again. That was such an organic thing in the moment, and it ran its course. It was amazing, right? But Bailey as a face can't be that again. It doesn't fit the current landscape. So as a face right now, I like it, but her heel work is so sublime.
It is.
Like, yeah, we're missing her on the heel side.
The only thing I'd say is I always thought, and maybe they didn't, right? Maybe they did do it at the perfect time, but I always thought they cut the Hugger Bailey gimmick. They got rid of it a bit too quickly. I felt like it still had a bit of legs left. Maybe that's why it was the right time, so we don't get tired of it.
Grabbing the inflatable tube man, though, is iconic.
It was completely iconic, but I felt like they could have waited genuinely another 1 or 2 years to do that.
Possibly.
And in that way, we could have had more of a career like that, and I think the heel turn would have been even bigger of a shock. Because you are right, that isn't a gimmick you can return to. That was so organic to the time, and now it would seem fake if she does it.
Right.
And it just sucks because it was so iconic.
Every time she does tease things about it, it cracks me up. And so when she's a heel, using it as like making fun of it is brilliant. Like you're never getting the ponytail back. You can't have it. And that's genius. It's heelish in and of itself.
It is, and she looks more like a heel now as well. She just, I don't know what it is, just something about her. It just looks like a heel. So I'd be completely on board with it being her. Same for Naomi as well. Either or makes a lot of sense. But I want to make sure, they do something with both Bailey and Naomi, because currently they're a little bit lost in the mix over on Friday Night SmackDown. So hopefully something's, no matter what it is, something happens for both of them in the upcoming weeks. But talking about things, not really going the way which we expect, Joe Hendry in TNA. Well, a lot of people are saying that they haven't really capitalized on him enough, and that leads us to our question. And this question is actually submitted by our very own Archie Carter, who is asking, have TNA fumbled Joe Hendry? I mean, they did a few good things with him during the time when he was super over, right? And they did push him. They put him in the world title picture. But here's the thing, right? That guy's had WWE's most viewed clip this year. realistically speaking, TNA should have just abandoned the plans for Nick Nemeth being world champion, and they should have put that belt on Joe Hendry, because you cannot get somebody that over. I mean, that's for a company which isn't WWE, that is a once in a decade possibility, if perhaps even rarer than that. So in my opinion, I think they did fumble him a bit. It's not like he's buried or anything, though, so it's not like he's ruined, but I think they could have done a better job. But Clark, what's your thoughts on it?
This is a difficult one for me to navigate, because I think that they did great with Joe Hendry as far as like getting him views, doing the crossover stuff with NXT. I can see putting the world title on him, but I don't know. There has to be a reason for this. So fumbled, I'm not 100% sure, because like you said, he's still over as could be. People still want to see Joe Hendry. They still want to sing along. They still want to wave their hands, right? From side to side, that is. But I mean, yeah, strike while the iron's hot is one of my favorite cliches to drop on this show all the time. And in this situation, it would have been smart to do so, but they're still striking. They're still selling merch. They're still doing all of that. If there's a longer term plan, I'm all for it. But at the end of the day, I think part of the reason maybe they went with Nick Nemeth and not him is because they realized that his length of time in this promotion is probably on the clock. It's probably ticking down. He's probably going to end up at WWE at some stage here, given the overwhelming social media support and everything we've seen, especially given his crossover appearance and how viral that clip was and everything else. Hey, maybe the reasoning from TNA's end is, well, we've only got him for so long. I don't know how helpful it is to put the title on him. We'll still have him be heavily featured, but as our world champion, if it's going to be world championship run, loss, leave, might as well save ourselves the time and work more with guys that are going to be here in the long run.
That's true. I mean, they do have him for, I think, a little bit more time, but yeah, it is true. But even still, I'm going to be honest with you. Like, it's probably a year difference in their contracts. And yes, a year can be a long time. But to bring those eyes to TNA when he is that over, I think you just need to strike while the iron's hot regardless. I think you just got to risk it. Because at the end of the day, you know that you are not, a promotion. I don't want to say the size. Well, I do want to say the size of WWE. They're obviously not the size of WWE, right? They got nowhere near as many views. They still put on a great product. But yeah, I mean, I think they did. I think fumble's a little bit of a harsh word, but I certainly think that, they could have done better with the Joe Hendry situation. That is for sure. But I don't know. It is a difficult one. I'll head to the comments.
You could have ridden the wave more, for lack of a better way to put it, right? Like,
yeah, they really could have. Pierce, Kiernan, shout out to you. Pierce is saying, hey guys, you see the new WWE Cam Hulto? I haven't seen him. I haven't actually heard of him before.
I have not either. I wish. I apologize.
Yeah, I need to check him out.
I will. Yeah.
If you're vouching for him, Pierce, I back you on that one.
Me too.
D6 Warlord saying, what if it was Jade Cargill's own daughter who did that? No, they wouldn't. Why? Why are we introducing now someone's daughter? This is what, Dominic Mysterio 2.0. Sean Ellis says, no, they haven't fumbled him. DCX Warlord said, Joe Hendry said if he would become TNA World Champion, he would challenge John Cena. I mean, I don't think that would have happened, but it would have been, would have been a banger, no doubt about it. Dolph Ziggler, Royal Rumble return, Clark?
Absolutely, but as Nick Nemeth.
No,
I think
I don't like it when they do that.
Entrance, but he holds his title belt from TNA and comes out.
Just call him Dolph Ziggler.
Don't
call him Dolph.
But don't pull the wool over our eyes. Let him bring the TNA belt out.
No, because the majority of their audience won't know. Like, they won't know who Nick Nemeth is.
That's fine. On TV, call him Nick Nemeth, though. That's who he is right now. The Dolph...
No.
Titantron can play. The audience will know with the music.
No, just say Dolph.
So they're going to say Dolph Ziggler, TNA World Champion.
Yeah.
Stop it.
Exactly that. Then on TNA, they can use Nick Nemeth. On WWE TV, it's the exact same thing when Matt Cardona is shooting himself in the foot here. If he just said yes to being called Zack Ryder, he would be back in WWE right now. He says all the time he's not getting the offer. The reason he's not getting the offer is because all the time he's saying he won't be a Zack Ryder. And WWE owns Zack Ryder. They established him as Zack Ryder. Why on earth, after that many years, would they bring him back with a different name? It would be so confusing to the audience unless it was like some weird gimmick where it was like, I've changed my name, blah, blah, blah. But then he wouldn't feel like a big deal. He'd feel like a joke.
I don't know. I think I think you're reaching for straws there. I think you're fine on
I'm
the
not.
Sean Spears was not a problem. It's just lower level.
Yeah,
as
that was
far as
NXT. I'm
and
sure
that's on
Matt Cardona
NXT. I
could
get
be
that.
Matt Cardona if he wants to be a coach in NXT. But if he
Yeah.
wants to be back on the main roster, I think you got to go for your WWE own name.
I don't know. I don't mind giving the real names back. We're in a new era these days, Ben. It's some of that old
How
stuff.
can they do a best of Matt Cardona thing, and then for half it he's known as Zack Ryder, and there's like, why?
I mean, the same way you can do a best of Mick Foley name or thing, and he's got 3 different names.
Yeah, well, that's different, and that's different because that's the entire
I
thing
mean,
with Matt.
how
Foley.
did we get a dead guy that turned into a motorcycle rider?
That's
I mean,
that's
around
true.
things
That's
like
true.
this.
Oh gosh.
We had Steve Austin went from the Hollywood Blondes to Stone Cold Steve Austin, same guy.
That's true. You're not wrong there, Clark. We do have a slight issue here.
What's that?
The slight issue is that my laptop is, despite the fact it's plugged in, it's running out of charge. So we are going to have to deal with that in a minute. But before we do, we will do the ad read because I want to talk to you guys about Demand Progress Plus, right? Because have I gone blurry for you guys?
You have gone blurry.
You know what, Clark? Could you do the ad read and I'll get this sorted?
Yes, sir. I can do the ad read. Of course, if you haven't checked out Demand Progress Plus yet, this is one of the coolest things as a wrestling fan on the internet anywhere right now. You absolutely are missing out if you haven't seen it. If you haven't watched Progress Wrestling, it's some of the best wrestling on the planet. And we know you like professional wrestling if you're watching this show. Not only that, for your subscription, we're going to give you a discount. So use this code Watch Progress 1. You're going to get 50% off your first month on Demand Progress Plus. That's the home of Progress, Defy, and many more promotions. You'll have your absolute favorites. You got all kinds of good stuff on here. It's absolutely worth it. I'll give you that code one more time, and that's Watch Progress 1. 50% off your first month. Demand Progress Plus, the home of Progress, Defy, and many more. And that's half off for those of you that prefer fractions over decimals.
Right, I am back now. Shout out to Demand Progress Plus and shout out Clark for doing that. Hopefully now, right? Hopefully my laptop will charge. I put it in a different power thing. I put it in a different port of my thing. So we're just gonna have to hope and pray it all works. If it doesn't, if it doesn't, we have 15 of those percents remaining. So I'll keep you updated on it as the clock goes on. But now let's move on to the next question, shall we? Because this one is also from somebody on our own team, right? And it's from Shard Talk Scrap. Shout out to Shard, who has submitted a great question. And usually, I'm very reluctant to choose questions from people on our own team, especially if there's multiple ones. But this one, as long with Archie's one earlier on, was so good this week. I just had to. And this is, with it being the 10th anniversary of the New Day, what is your favorite New Day memory? And I'm going to add a little bit to this question as well, because I'm also going to add, do you think that we will see the New Day split up tonight? Clark, I'm going to go to you on this one first. What is your thoughts?
Okay, my favorite New Day memory is tough because I love so much of the comedy things that they've done like off screen, but I'm not going to pick one of those. I want to pick something that's a wrestling accomplishment. All the tag reigns, amazing. Kofi Mania, though, sticks out to me, and I still count that as a New Day accomplishment. It still counts, and just the way it happened so organically reminded you of the Daniel Bryan run and everything. It doesn't get old. It was much deserved. Kofi's individual journey was a part of it, but the New Day were as much a part of it as anybody else. It was him representing the New Day and going out and being the first of the 3 to win a much-deserved world championship on the biggest stage. And I loved everything about that. So I have to go with Kofi Mania. As far as the second part of the question, Ben, this isn't going to be the reunion. This is going to, unfortunately, I think, be the ununion. It does look like it's breakup season as much as it's holiday season right this second. And yeah, I don't know if we're going to see an appearance of the large one known as E. I would love to see him out there tonight. I don't know what role he'll play in it, but I don't see Woods and Kingston getting along during whatever is planned for this reunion, anniversary, celebration, whatever it is. I don't know exactly what's planned, but I am excited to see how it goes. If I have to pick, though, the end of the day, yeah, it's unfortunately going to be that time.
Wow. I mean, a lot of people agree with you, Clark. We did a poll in our Instagram broadcast channel earlier on today, and the majority, in fact, I think it was like 75%, said that, yeah, they're going to split up. And I'm going to differ from you. I'm going to say, no, I don't think they're going to split up. I really, really hope that Big E is cleared, right? And he did a fantastic article today for the Players Tribune. And on that, he was basically said that he's at peace if this is the end of his career. He wrote a long thing about, 10 years of the New Day, but also about his life. And it's a fantastic article. If you guys haven't checked it out, make sure that you do. But it all just felt to me, especially with the timing, as he's coming back tonight. He's cleared. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm too optimistic. But it was just the way which it was done. It was like, I don't think this is too... No way is that how you're retiring with an article. I don't believe that. I think you're back tonight. Hopefully I'm right, because Big E back in the ring, that would be my favorite New Day moment.
I would be all over that. I mean, Big E is just so charismatic. All three are, for that matter. And what happened was so tragic. It's such a brutal thing about wrestling. You can have injuries like that, especially for someone that was on one of the better runs of his career, coming off of a championship himself, a world title himself, and to just have an injury like that puts you on the shelf. And not only that, is so difficult to return from, and so scary and so dangerous, is just brutal. For him to return would be just amazing to me. That would be the moment, not just my favorite New Day moment, that'd be, to me, moment of the year.
Wow, high praise indeed, and I do have to agree with you on that one, Clark. We've got some good news on my laptop battery. We're now up to 17%. We've gone up 1%. So, progress. We're going upwards, not downwards now. So hopefully this plugging it into a different plug has worked.
Shout out your other outlet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got the good outlet this time. Now we're talking.
Yeah. Oh, gosh. These tech issues on my end will be sorted at Christmas, guys. That is the good news, though. But when it comes to my personal favorite New Day moment, Clark, you went for a really emotional, really feel-good one of Kofi Mania. And I'm just going to go for a really basic one. A one which is just terrible in comparison. But just them coming out of a Butio's box. I love that moment. That visual, it was hilarious. I don't know why it was so funny. I loved it.
Honestly, that was maybe going to be my second pick, and I was like, I got to do like an in-ring accomplishment here. Like, I felt like, no, it's an outstanding pick, Ben. I honestly have no argument against that. It's in my top 5 list. It's iconic. It's hilarious.
It absolutely.
Think about what this group's accomplished. They started in some of the most absurd of circumstances, like the Baptist church, those promos, they're supposed to be bad guys, no less. Power of positivity. They were not bestowed this gimmick to succeed. No. And what they proceeded to do was not only they got over to the point that they're undeniable baby faces and have been for years. Not only that, they got a trombone over, they got cereal over, they got pancakes over. Like, these guys got inanimate, simple objects over.
Yeah,
it's really actually remarkable what the three accomplished in a gimmick. They were not the plan was not for this to fully succeed, at least not to this level.
No, it wasn't. What people forget, though, too, is we're celebrating the 10-year anniversary. This group was officially formed in August 2014, and then it just disappeared. They didn't have a match, and the gimmick just disappeared until November, when they suddenly re-debuted, and it was very different to how, they was originally going. It was, it was meant to fail. It 100% was. They were meant to be jobbers. It was meant to be the end of these three guys' careers, if we're being brutally honest. But it wasn't. They made it work. They turned something bad into one of the best tag teams in the history of WWE. Potentially the best trio when all is said and done. We have a lovely comment here from Bitu.2604 saying that he loves our podcast. thank you so much. We really do appreciate that comment. And we also had one as well from a minute ago from Sean Ellis saying that we have the best wrestling talk show live on YouTube. Thank you so much, Sean Ellis. We really do appreciate it. And we appreciate you guys tuning in. No doubt about it. DCX Warlord saying this year is the year of tag team breakups. It is.
Except it's funny to me. I've complained about almost every single one. This is the only one that actually makes sense. Like perfect sense to me, because I think just because of the length of their careers, and also with it's a little bit like as far as tag teams are concerned in the modern era, you kind of have Ali, Frazier in the New Day and the Usos, right? And if the Usos are broken up too, they're not broken up, but they're not tagging like they used to. Right? It's like they're kind of more viewed as single stars within the bloodline right this second, at least in my eyes. They're not in the tag team title picture. If they're going to break up and have a singles deal, I don't mind it with the New Day right now, because they've told a story and they've planted the seed with the arguments between Woods and Kofi. I don't mind if they do this one.
Yeah, fair enough. Sean Ellis is saying the flying pancakes were funny. No doubt about it. And also when the Hardy Boys returned, the way that the New Day did that, they actually don't get enough praise for. The way they were introduced, that itself was such a memorable moment and such a unique moment. I can't think of many returns which were, ever introduced in a way like that. And of course it wasn't, the New Day with the Hardys, but it was the New Day introducing them. And it was done so well. DCX Warlord saying, why did they break up the Rascals? That one is a great question.
I do think that had a lot to do with the fact that, even though there's the partnership with NXT, they're still in different companies. So, what are you going to do? Like,
No, yeah, that's no, but not even that though. The two which were, I don't know. Yeah, I guess so. Right, now let's move on to predicting the main event, Saturday night's main event match card, because you guys know us, we love to predict the cards ahead of time, and usually we always get them wrong. I think at Bad Blood I had it exactly right, but every other one we've gotten completely and utterly wrong, so why not try and do it again? Now, I came up right with a 5-match card, and I realized literally 2 minutes ago during the last topic that I have in fact just completely and utterly I've done 5 singles matches, 1v1s, and I don't think I can see 5 1v1s happening. So because of that, well, I think I'm going to have to change one of them, even though I don't actually think that's going to be the case. But I think I got it wrong already, lads. But we're going to carry on with it. The first match I'm predicting is Finn Balor versus Damian Priest. I think we're going to see the blow-off match with some stipulation between the two happen. We saw what happened at the pay-per-view yesterday. Finn Balor cost Damian Priest the championship in his match against Gunther. But talking about Gunther, well, I do believe he will be defending the World Heavyweight Championship at Saturday night's main event as well. And I was originally going to say Gunther versus Punk. And my heart, well, it does say Gunther versus Punk. But again, I've got so many singles matches on this. Well, I think we're going to have to make it a triple threat match. I'm actually going to predict Gunther versus Punk versus Rollins. I think we're going to see a triple threat match for the World Heavyweight Championship, and it will kick off the feud between CM Punk and Seth Rollins. Then, for the WWE Championship, this one's already been confirmed. We're going to have Cody Rhodes versus Kevin Owens. That's my call for that. But I also think we're going to see the United States Champion, the Women's United States Champion, crowned at Saturday's night's main event. And I reckon the final is going to be a rematch of the garbage match from a couple of months ago, which was such a success. And that will be Michin versus Chelsea Green. And I also think we are going to see the World Women's Championship on the line as Liv Morgan defends against the number one contender, Io Sky. And I think Rhea Ripley could well end up being the special guest referee for that one, or on commentary, or just some involvement in it some way or another. Clark, what about you? If you had to predict 5 matches, what are you choosing for this one?
So I've got some interesting ones on here. First, I'm obviously going to go with Cody Rhodes defending against Kevin Owens. Get that one out of the way early. I agree with you on Liv Morgan, Io Sky. I did not have the stipulation as far as Ripley is concerned, but I don't hate the idea in the least, Ben. I've got Ripley Sky. I think that's the logical matchup. I do have a tag team match on my card though, Ben. I've got a triple threat tag team match between the Motor City Machine Guns, DIY, and the Street Profits. That's what I'm going with for the tag team division. It's kind of a throw at things at the wall and just hope something happens thing, but I don't know. That one's my shaky. I'm standing on the shakiest ground when it comes to that pick. Okay. Now for my next one. It seems early, but I don't mind Damian Priest versus Finn Balor. That seems logical. So why wouldn't we do it now? Have one at Saturday night's main event. Maybe make it the opening match. I'm all for that. And then for my last match, honestly, I actually changed some things up because I realized that one of them's not even possible. But I might do. What about like Bailey Naomi for the women's title, U.S. women's title? Let's talk about that one. Let's do that. There's my
Fair
5.
enough.
There's my 5 on my heavily adjusted late card. But we'll see. It'd be really funny if actually that's pretty close. Because honestly, I came up with 2 of the 5. I had to switch 2 of the matches. They were dumb. They were over. It's Saturday night's main event. And when I initially came up with my list, Ben, I'm just being fully honest with the audience here. I treated it like this thing was like the Rumble. Like I way stacked the card. I don't think.
Well, it could happen though. It could happen because they're treating it like a big deal.
They are. It could easily happen. I know they are. But I made maybe a more star-studded card, arguably, than like a Big 4 event. Like I made this thing.
I mean, I don't. Maybe they will. A lot of people are saying Reigns and Solo. I think that's going to be the Rumble. And me and Kobe were arguing about this before because he doesn't think there's enough space on the Rumble card to do it. But I think they'll make space. I think that is going to be the big men's match on that card. And
I've probably done like maybe 50 match cards like this since we've started this show. And that's the first time I've looked at my own card and been like, that's not going to work.
I mean, I'm the same. It's so hard to predict this one. I think I got 3 of that with a 5. I reckon this probably aged horribly. I reckon I got 3 out of the 5.
I'd be fired up if I got 3 out of 5. I think there's definitely 2 in there that I'm like, Yeah. I mean, I think we both got Cody Rhodes and Kevin.
Well, yeah, we already won that. We only need 2 more out of us to be correct. That's kind of cheating a little bit, but it is true. We've got shots below the belt saying Naomi takes Jade's spot as women's tag team champions and loses to bring Bianca back to singles wrestling. I mean, that could be interesting. Would it be allowed? I don't know, but WWE have done weirder things, so perhaps so.
Yeah, I do think it's possible that we get a replacement or a fill-in like that. I do also think it would just kind of muddy the waters further on that storyline. I'm not totally sure. I will say also, though, his next comment, LA Knight versus Shinsuke rematch, that was the one match I left on the cutting room floor. I will say I took that, not the one, that was one of the that I took off the card just because I was like, I don't think immediate rematch makes sense. And I wanted to get a tag team match in there.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, no, I mean, I'll definitely see it happening. Maybe it'll be on SmackDown instead. They all say Logan Paul returns a screw over LA Knight. Please, no. I'm done with Logan Paul for the time being, if I'm honest.
Yeah. Yeah, Logan Paul needs some time away before we get more Logan.
He absolutely does. He needs to hope that, more YouTube videos breaking down in his life or whatever don't come out, and instead... just stay at home for a bit, enjoy life, relax for 6 months, then come back. Everyone will probably forget everything because that's how the news cycle works. And then bang, everybody will be excited to see you again. But that United States Championship run, I don't think it did anything for him at all in WWE. It made me sick of seeing him, and he was part-time.
It's weird. I almost feel the same. Like LA Knight's one of my absolute favorites, but like, what's up? Is the US title currently cursed? Like, what is up? They put it on 2 people that on paper you're like, oh man, they're gonna make it. It's gonna be great. And as soon as the title gets on them, it's like, well, the U.S. title's gotten a little stale again. And it's like, they were our 2 picks. Like,
he did all right. No, LA Knight I thought did fine. It got cut short, but the reason it got cut short
elevate him any further.
It was the AEW issue, what they've been having issues with. when you have your mid-card champion and your main champion both be the same either, whereas if it's a heel or a face, in this case, two baby faces, Cody Rhodes and LA Knight, it's difficult to find enough challengers for both of them. And that's what happened. Now you have Nakamura as the heel. It makes a lot more sense, and I think it will work a lot more. Plus, I'm loving this Nakamura gimmick. Absolutely loving it.
Very good. I'm with you on that. 100%. Yeah, no, there's no denying that.
Absolutely.
Although, like I said about I said this yesterday, but I learned him. Can we get a real translator in here? Like I studied his every move. There's no way in Japanese that he just said, I learned him. Like that's just a poor translation. It's ridiculous. We're better than that.
But Shorts Below the Belt said it was a 119-day reign, but how often he defended it felt like it was a 200+ day reign. That's true. LA Knight was a very active champion. I thought the reign was fine. It was just wasn't too many people who we could face against, but every match was decent. And yeah, I don't think, I just don't think he was given much to work with, but everything he was given worked well. So I definitely wouldn't say it was a bad reign at all, and was certainly a step up from Logan Paul's reign. I will say that. Kobe saying, why are we predicting main event? Not that main event, Kobe. Saturday night's main event. Forget the E show for WWE main event. Is it even still going?
I don't think it is. I think he's just Kobe's just trying to be Kobe. He knows stuff.
Christopher Leclerc is saying first 30 minutes of Raw is commercial free tonight. That is big news.
Huge.
Punk will be opening the show with a promo as well. That is confirmed.
All 30 minutes?
A fun one. I don't know. I'm
going
to be honest, Mark,
let him go 30.
If anybody comes out to interrupt him, that segment could go 30. Didn't the MJF segment go? I think it was.
It was like 18 plus.
Oh, okay. It wasn't as long as I thought it was.
18 plus is long for two guys talking.
Yeah, especially AW. In WWE, to be fair, they've done that. The Rollins, Punk, and McIntyre one, I think, actually went longer. But Kobe's saying they still have main event. They need to get rid of that. I'll rename it. You can't have Saturday night's main event and main event have be two shows which you were doing. Yeah. One is a big deal. One is a jobber show. You can't do that, can you? You just bring back
one is
superstars.
A compilation of dark matches.
Pretty much. And there's just it's not kayfabe either. Like, it's not canon. So it is kayfabe, it's not canon. Like, they just don't acknowledge the fact that like NXT stars make their debuts on there and stuff like that. But that does
whatever happens there is like separate.
Yep. That does bring us, though, guys, to the end of the show. Thank you guys so much for watching and commenting along. We really do appreciate it. If you do enjoy our show, please share it with your friends as well. We will be back the same time, same place tomorrow to discuss Monday Night Raw. I'm certain it's going to be a fun one, but will the New Day still be together? Well, that is the question. And what is next for CM Punk? Well, we'll find out to kick off tonight's episode of Monday Night Raw. See you guys tomorrow. Peace.